tin wires. You see that? Looks pretty good. This needs to cool off so I can slide the heat shrink tubing over it. There we go. Where'd the heat shrink tubing go? There it is. Come on. Don't be shy. There you go. There you go. Beautiful. Beauty, beauty, beautiful. Beautiful. And I want to take a little bit of this liquid silicone sealant. I should probably put some under the heat shrink and put it around each end. Although I did put enough heat shrink on there, it shouldn't be a problem as is. Just because it's an outdoor environment, I want to give it a little bit of extra something in the ends. Stuff's pretty good. And I'll put a little bit here too. Just so we don't get a problem down there later on. There we go. When it dries, it'll be good to go. Alcohol to clean my brush. On my nasty shirt. There we go. They don't have a paper towel. Oh well. What do you think? Pretty good? And then we can slide this sheath back up. How about that? Looks good. Now we need to clean this end. We're going to resolder it to the circuit board. Yeah.
Rolling?
Okay, I got the cable fixed. Now I'm going to start putting bearings in the top housing here. I have a small bearing here that we removed, and a small bearing there that we removed. I have new ones. Let me just go ahead and measure these so I can show what size they are. It is a ID of 8 millimeters. Yeah, 8 millimeter bearing on the ID. 11 millimeters on the OD, and 9 millimeters tall. And there's two sides of this bearing. There's a rounded side and there's a flat side with lettering. The rounded side goes face up. And that bearing goes there. Then I have a second bearing here This bearing is roughly, or is 8 millimeters ID, 12 millimeter OD, and it is 8 millimeters tall. And that bearing goes the same way. Lettering goes down and the rounded edge goes up. And it's kind of tricky to get these in straight. So what I do, or what is generally done, is I have this thing that I made here a while back to use to kind of guide them. That one fits that one. Kind of guide it so that I can get it in nice and straight. And then of course this one is used for this one to drive it in. It also helps hold the needles in and everything while it's going, pushing it down. I could probably smack this with a hammer or a soft dead blow hammer to drive them in, but I don't want to damage the bearing or the needles, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my press. I don't think you have to do that, but it's just good practice. You have a press. From Sandra, how high do you usually set these? About even with the aluminum?
A little taller than the aluminum.
Just slightly higher.
A little bit more.
Just a hair higher than the aluminum in case the gear decides to run in or out. It doesn't rub on the aluminum.
That's good right there.
Okay. It's taking very little force to push this in. I just want to make sure it's straight. How far?
A little more. A little more.
A little more?
You could get away with 1 or 2 more hang cranks.
Right about there?
1 more.
There?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's better. Like I say, I don't want to push my luck. Okay. So that takes care of those 2 bearings.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottom housing now. Let's do the ones in the bottom housing. On the bottom housing, we have, let's see here. This large bearing would go here. This bearing would go here. And we have another needle bearing, which I'm not going to put in this one, but because I didn't need it, let me just show it, because some actuators have this bearing. Same thing, lettering goes towards the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
That bearing would go there, but I'm not going to put that bearing in because this motor doesn't require a bearing. This motor here doesn't require a bearing. You have another one sitting over here. This motor has this second shaft that requires that bearing. Okay, so that makes sense. And the measurements for these bearings, if I can find my dial calipers. All right, so the small bearing, this bearing, would be an ID of, is that 7 millimeters? I think it's a 7 millimeter bearing. It says 6.5. Let me see what the shaft size is. Oh, 6.0. The ID is 6.0. The OD is 10.0. And the height is 8.0. That bearing goes there, but I'm not going to put that one in for this one. This one here is going to be an ID of 10.0, an OD of 20.0, or 19.0. 19.0. Yep. An OD of 19.0, and then a height of 5.0. And then this third bearing is going to be an ID of 20.0, an OD of 32.0, and then a height of 7.0. And we can press those in as well, right? To make sure they're straight.
Mm-hmm.
So we drop them in straight. Let's put them in this press over here. Same thing. Get over here with this. How far down does this go? All the way?
Until it doesn't want to go no more.
Well, this is a 50-ton press, so
Well,
that's
when you can
speculative. When you can feel a little resistance?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I can feel a little bit of resistance, just a hair.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. There it goes. I feel no resistance. No resistance. Now I start to feel just a tiny bit. That looks pretty good. All right. Oh, that feels nice and new. So does that one. But now we need to, you said you always pack some grease in this one. Some high temp grease. Right?
All of them, yes.
Okay. And where's our high temp grease? Cut.